Okay, we're getting down to the finished cut, and you can see a little bit of edge of the weld right there. So I'm trying to come in probably another 20 there and 20 there, but pretty close to being done. Okay, I'm going to engage feed now. That is almost 100% clean, and I still got just a little bit more material to take. There's one little spot right in there. Alright, we're going to take one more pass. Feels like about 5 thousandths maybe. 5 thousandths. We need to advance this. It's probably like 5 thousandths also. Alright, hey, how can you hate that, huh? Alright, I think just a little paper and that's going to be, that is nice. Okay, little tiny bit right in here, I can see, we'll blend that in with some paper. Alright, we just finished this radius right here. I can see just a couple of dinky spots, the little dinky spots right there. I tell you what, I'm some happy with that. We're going to be able to, well, we're going to take a little bit of polishing and we'll knock a few of those things out. This really came out real nice as well. And, I mean, this whole end, 100% satisfied with it. This surface right here, I'm going to set up and we're going to take a light skim on this to take that 5 thousandths off of here, because when we turn this thing around, this will be facing the other way. Of course, we do have to turn it back to this direction again and put that drill and tap that hole. But I think I'm going to go ahead and face this off now because it is so easy and convenient to have it right here. And it's not going to change. We want to finish off this end to match this end here. And why turn it around just to put this in here? I'd like to go ahead and be able to finish this other end over here. And then if we wanted to, we could change out to the 3-jaw and just hold it with that and a steady rest and put the drill tap hole in here, or put it back in and 4-jaw it with some aluminum pads or whatever. We're going to be 4-pointing this in here just to make sure that we got it dialed in true to machine this in. But that's dynamite right now. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to face the flange face itself that mounts the blade drum. I'm bringing you in close and I'll get this thing rolling. And we've slowed the speed down a little bit, and we're going to still keep about the same feed. And we're only taking bare minimum to remove the run out. And we only measured about 5,000, so the cut should be no more than 5. So there's 0. Dialed in about 3,000, so, but our indicators were down in here. You can definitely see a little bit of wobble in that old face in relationship to a true cut. It looks like it's leaving a nice surface finish. We were going to turn this around and work on the other end and then bring it back. And we have this tapped hole, 3/4 inch 10, and this is so the bearing, the new bearing will slide on here. We showed you the 4-bolt flange bearing. It slides on here. There's a retaining washer. You tighten up the bolt here, and this actually controls the thrust in of the rotating unit itself. Now, see, now we're all set up on this end here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take out our tool bit here. We're going to roll the carriage back this way. We're going to support the shaft with a screw jack underneath so that we can break loose the tailstock. And then we're going to slide the steady rest in so that we can support this back in 0 and you know, keep it in the same location it is now. And then we're going to go ahead and drill and tap this hole right now in this position, and we won't have to put this in the machine again in this position. We'll be able to just turn it around, finish the other end, and then we're ready to go to the mill. So, alright, first things first, we're going to roll the carriage back here. Alright, and I'm just going to wipe our waves down here a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to set, I got, this is a piece of 3/8 key stock, and we're going to lay it on the flat there for the steady rest area. And we're going to move it forward because we are going to be putting steady rest in here. Alright, and then we lay our piece of railroad track that's been surface ground, top and bottom, and on top of there. So we're flat on the top of here and held level there. This is another one of our screw jacks here. And this is Armstrong. Armstrong was the make of both sets. I have a small set and a large set. I think this is a 2-ton, and the other ones are like 5-ton, something like that. All right. And what I'm doing is all we need to do is support the weight of the shaft so that when we pull the center out, it's not going to sag on its own weight, and the jaws will hold it. We're not really trying to push it up or give it any play to hang down, so we're going to hold it right there. Now we're going to be able to break loose our tailstock, and then we're going to move everything back slightly to get our steady rest in so we can grab this diameter with our steady rest. This will also be presetting the steady rest for this diameter when we turn this part around and we run the steady rest in between the flange and the chuck. When we dial this end in and check the center and claim true run on that side as well. So break this loose. That can be somewhere in that area, I guess. Let's see. We can come in here. Yeah, that works. Alright. blow this out just in case we forgot something in there or have some kind of a chip in there. Okay, now we can go ahead and break loose our screw jack. And pull out our beam, key stock. Alright, now we can go in and adjust our tailstock to run after we put this in gear. You ever adjust that in without it resting at the bottom, it kind of moves around on you. Alright, there's a light feel there. Okay, now we're held true. Now we can go ahead and break loose the tailstock again, and then we're ready to start drilling it. Alright, we're getting ready. We got the drill chuck in here, and we're going to go in with a 3/8, and then our tap size is 21/32, and we're going to be going in with a 3/4 10. And, you know, basically that bearing gets held on with a 3/4 inch bolt. This just happens to be my test bolt for the thing. I just thought 3 3/8 was quite a bit in the length of thread there for a 3/4 inch bolt. And actually for how far they had it tapped in there, it looks like they only got it tapped in about 2 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to at least tap it. I'm going to at least tap it 2 inches and then go ahead and tap. I'm going to drill at least 2 inches and then tap it down to the bottom of the hole. And I think that'll be sufficient. There's no benefit to having an excess of depth of threads. It's not making the bolt grip any stronger. You know, if I'm going to step drill, I like to pick probably a combination of half and half. And I may have to go dress this one up here. No, that kind of chipped off. I think it was just some galling steel on there. Alright, so I got 3/8, and then this is 21/32, of course, and the 3/8 is about half of the 3/4. Just kind of a rough half and half. You know, that way, you don't want to give too little of flutes on a bigger drill. You want to get more, more meat, so you're not having such a tendency to grab on the bit. Give it some more meat to actually cut. But the step drilling is actually so that you can ease off on the amount of pressure it takes to drill and how much it actually works to drill. Alright. That's not bad. I'm glad I didn't go dress that drill bit. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to chamfer this, and didn't want to take out the chuck. And that'll give a good lead in for the threads. Alright, just for kicks here. Alright, so we got like 200-300, but we need to, okay, 2 right to there. We know we're safe just to go the length of that tap there. Alright, we're getting a little forward motion. Now this is a pretty good sized chuck that I got here, and I think I hand ground redressed the nose of this on my grinder. I think it's pretty sharp, so we'll see how we do here. And our chuck was not slammed in there hard enough. Let's give it another try here, and I should be able to skip in with those same threads. There we go. Nope. Okay. Another thing I need is a new 3/4 tin plug tab. This is doing pretty good. Now sometimes actual tapping fluid, Tapmatic or tapping fluids give you a little crisper cut, make it a little easier on the push. The reason why I don't use the T-handle here is because you can only push on one side of it usually anyway, and while I'm pulling in behind with the live center, so that I'm just guiding that tap straight down the hole. There's also too the 17-inch swing here in the lathe, and always give you enough room to swing the handle that's beneficial to you anyway. Alright, our customer dropped off the bearing so that we can test fit these bearings, and these have got to slide on. This is a link belt self-aligning bearing, and has a little collar here and a couple set screws. Now this one here gets held on with this flat washer and that bolt there. Now this thing wants to go on but doesn't slide on, and we need to make it so it will slide on. So we're going to go ahead and drape our carriage here, and we're going to draw file a couple strokes on this, and we'll get that to slide on there fine. My radius really cleans up nice too. Alright, I like that fit. No play rocking, that's for sure. Alright, now the last thing we need to fit is this collar. And I got there's some rust around in here. I'm gonna go just knock that rust out of there with the little drum sander. Alright, I just took, in fact I didn't remove all of it, but I did polish it down to where I saw, you know, pretty much that I removed the rough scale, and then I hit this surface here and this surface here on the lapping stone that I got over there. And that goes right there. Now you can see I left this a little bit large. The old shaft is that diameter, so it used to be straight across, but you know, I had that material to leave on there, and he says there's nothing out here that's gonna hinder having it there. All right, now with that on there, that surface right there is where your thrust comes against here. And then the washer holds the positive position against here, and then these dimples here. Actually, I wonder if this bearing is actually the same size as this other one, because, well, how close was that? That's why it's nice to see. See that dimple? That dimple is right next to the edge, so we're good to go. Without having the old bearings, I really don't know if this was matching that way or not, so this kind of just seemed odd to me. Alright, we're good on this end here. I think just going to spin it up, put some paper into the radiuses here, and I'm going to call this end done. Alright, we're going to pull this out, turn it around, and get it dialed back in. True. Fenner. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move this over a bit here. Okay. Looks more center now. Alright. And we can go ahead and unlock these two top jaws here. Now we're going to be changing diameters, so normally if we were end-overing something, these diameters were matching. By just undoing two, you should be able to set it down in and then tighten those two, and then you'd be close again. Also, we're going to be on a finished diameter now, so we're going to want to put something in the jaws to protect from crimping down and putting chuck marks. It's a bad deal leaving chuck marks in on your part. At least I think it is. Alright. I'll go ahead and we can go ahead and give some motion on the crane here and back the other direction now. Alright, I should be able to flash it from here. Yep. Alright, I'm going to turn this around, but we're also going to go ahead and we're going to slide this in. This is another thing I like about my steady rest, the pull pin on the back here. Really lets you have it light duty, and all you need for setup most of the time is just the two lower rollers here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and now that we turn this around, well, we did turn it around, we turned it around once already. Lifting chain over here. Alright. You can eyeball. Your center plays a lot in on setting this back up here because it's a fixed center line here for this end of your project. Alright, so that's pretty well level. Now we're going to go ahead and slide it in here. But before we slide it in, we're going to go ahead and slide this ring on here because we know that this will take care of that radius that's right in here. And we're going to go ahead and dial this outside diameter here. And we can have the face resting against there, and then we can just use our aluminum pads in here. And we'll grab our tub here again. And all we need is or we'll use these 1/8 inch here, 1/8 inch by 5/8 or so. And alright, now we're going to go ahead and move back into this direction here. Okay, we'll go ahead and tighten up our tailstock so it doesn't slide. Just snug. And we're going to go ahead, bring this down close. Alright, now we're going to crank her forward. Alright, we're just lightly touching the jaws. Now we're going to go ahead, we're going to lift each one, and we're just going to slip that aluminum right underneath the front face of each and every one of these. Alright, I got all 4 of them in there. Now I'm just going to give a slight tension here. We're going to drop the hoist. Alright, now, but we know that steady rest has got to run 0. And we're going to go ahead and push it. Oh, that's about as comfortable as we can get in here. Alright, now we're going to release this a little bit because that center is irrelevant to the run out that we need to, we need to have this bearing surface and this end of the shaft both the same, running true with each other. We're going to dial at 0, prove that our register here and our face is 0, and then we're going to come over and then we can figure out what we got over here, whether we have to skim that center or not, and we'll single point skim that center if we need to. And then we'll finish turning this diameter so that this matches this side here. Alright, so we're going to get the indicator over here. And we're running, there's minus 20 and plus 15, so we got like 35 thousandths. We're going to dial this in here. Alright, here's a quick look just so you can see how, the jaws are resting against that face right there, and the aluminum is in there on each jaw, so we're not scoring that up. And you can see the light underneath those jaws in the back. Alright, let's dial this in now. You get a little squishy out of the aluminums at first, but then they tighten up. I mean, they only squish out so far. Always go around and make sure that you have somewhat equal pressure on each of your jaws. You don't want to have a surprise later on that one of your jaws wasn't tight and somehow it shifted over that direction. Alright, we got about another thou to crank out of this. Alright, that's fluttering about 1/4 thousandths right there.